Hey friends, welcome. I'm Deb. I'm so glad that you're here. Today, actually, we're going to be talking about something that was asked to me over on Instagram. You make a lot of mocktails using non-alcoholic spirits and non-alcoholic wines. And the person was asking me, are non-alcoholic wines a trigger for me? Because I was a Chardonnay drinker. For years and years, I was a Chardonnay drinker. Never had like a rock bottom. I had many pebble bottoms. I didn't have one of those moments where it was like, oh my gosh, like I have to change. But there were so many little things that added up that I felt like I have to change. I cannot continue drinking the way I had been drinking. I was just like your typical wine mom. And in my 40s, I went through some really hard times. I went through a divorce. I went through breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy, went through chemo, a lot of stuff with that. And then, both of my parents, literally right in the year that I was sick myself, my parents passed away, both of them from Alzheimer's and dementia. My 40s were really hard. All that to say, maybe you can relate. If you're a hot flash mama, maybe you can relate to going through really hard times. And wine, it just became a companion. It wasn't in the very beginning. Like in the very beginning, I would just like have a glass of wine. I could take it or leave it. I didn't care. And then all of a sudden, it just, instead of like being in the back seat of my life or even like in the trunk of, the car I was driving in my life, it was suddenly like riding shotgun. I was thinking about Chardonnay. I was thinking about my wine. Like, what do I have at home? Like, I'd be driving home. I'd be thinking like, do I still have wine at home? Like, do I have any left? I should stop at the store, or, all those things. It was like my wine was taking up a lot more headspace than it had in years past. And I know it was just, honestly, it was numbing the pain of like all the stuff had gone through. So my 40s were really, really hard, and alcohol was, was doing its job. It was numbing the pain that I was going through, but it was also numbing the joy. And I personally am a person that sounds so silly to say. I don't think that's the right way to say it. Whatever. I'm a person who's typically pretty happy and pretty joyful naturally. And it was numbing my joy. It was like a heavy blanket on my personality, on my spirit. Like I don't typically feel like depressed. I felt so depressed. Like I'd wake up with a, anxiety. I'd wake up at 3 a.m, the room was spinning. And then every day I'd wake up and I'd be beating myself up. I'd be like, I did it again. Like I did it again. I promised myself I was going to have one glass of wine. And what did I have? Oh, I finished the bottle, finished it again. I'd be like, good job, Deb. You did it again. And it was years of driving around with like a U-Haul of shame behind me. It was a U-Haul of shame that I dragged around for years. So as I was approaching my 50th birthday, I was like, enough is enough. So this was in 2020. So 2021, I was going to turn 50. And in 2020, like many of us, my drinking cranked up. It just went from like, drinking in the evening when the kids would go to bed to like, okay, well, it's 3 o'clock. We can pour the Chardonnay now. Anyway, all that to say, 2020 was coming to an end, and I was like, I cannot live the way I've been living this past decade. I do not want to go into my 50s and live the same way. And I'm having a hot flash literally right now. I'm probably a different color than when this video started. So if you can relate, let's take a little drink, shall we? Take a little drink, because I'm literally having a hot flash. Like 2020 was ending, and I was like, okay, I'm going to turn 50 in 2021. And I do not want the next decade to be like this last decade, because I've numbed my life. And I can't do it anymore. Anyway, December 31st, 2020 was my very first day alcohol free. I just wanted to take a little break. I wanted to take like a month off, and it ended up feeling so much better that I just kept going. I just kept setting new goals. I was like, okay, let's see if I can go to 45 days. Let's see if I can go to 60 days. Let's see if I can go to 100 days. Next thing I know, it was like I was approaching a year alcohol free. And here I am now, coming up on 5 years, actually 4.5 years right now. I'm alcohol free, 4.5 years. And I'm having a hot flash. Okay, whatever. You all can relate. I think you can all relate. If you're over 50, you can relate. I got slammed into menopause with my chemo. Okay, but here's the question that was asked to me today. Are non-alcoholic wines a trigger? And I just want to tell you, if a mocktail with non-alcoholic spirits is a trigger, don't drink it. If a mocktail without non-alcoholic spirits is a trigger, if a non-alcoholic wine is a trigger, don't drink it. For me, none of those things are a trigger. They actually have helped me stay on my alcohol-free journey. They've been like the bumper rails of my sobriety. And in the very beginning, I never would have used that word sober. Like I never in a million years would have said, I want to be sober. It's all been an accident. And now I'm so proud. Like I feel so good. And I'm so grateful and thankful. Grateful and thankful. It's like a plaque at Hobby Lobby. I truly am. Anyway, there's tons of alcohol-free options. There's tons of alcohol-free wines. This is one of my favorites. This is Giesen. I don't know if you can see I don't think you can see it. Giesen, Giesen. They do make alcohol wines. They do make full-leaded wines. So look for the 0% on the label. Make sure you're looking for the 0% on the label so you don't accidentally drink a full-leaded wine. But I will tell you, I mean, I'm going to pour this right now over my ice. I drink my white wines over ice. Anyway, pouring it over my ice, and it smells like the real deal. It tastes like the real deal. And if that would be a trigger to you, don't drink it. Like, back up, give it to a friend, toss it, throw it away, do whatever you have to do if it's a trigger to you. But for me, this has actually helped me stay on my alcohol-free journey. It's helped me maintain my sobriety. So anyway, big time cheers to you from the great state of Kentucky. I hope you find some alcohol-free options that you love. I will help you. We're going to make some mocktails together. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time because there's so many good things to drink when you're not drinking. So follow along, hit the subscribe button, like it, share it with a friend. I am cheering you on, cheering you on. Lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you soon. I have a free little guide. Grab it. I'll put it in the description, okay? I have a little guide, a free mocktail guide for you. Grab it in the description, okay? Talk to you soon.